What's going on, guys? Welcome into another live here. Give me a second to make sure everything's working okay here. Let's see. Give me a comment if you guys can hear me okay and everything's working on your side before we get started here. So we're going to go over this PDF guide here and define, what are the four types of Amazon sellers essentially on Amazon, right? And what are the pros and cons of each? And then where, if maybe you're stuck in one area and if it's beneficial to move on to a different type, being a different type of seller on Amazon, you can kind of make gains essentially to change your type of being an Amazon FBA seller. That'll make more sense as we go through it, obviously, as well as I'm going to be going over some questions here from the Facebook group. Obviously, you can apply to get in the Facebook group in the link down below in the description, but we will be covering questions here from the Facebook group. So we'll have a good amount of questions there. And then you'll also get a chance to get this manual yourself, get a copy of that, and I'll tell you how to do that here in a bit. But looks like everything's up and running okay. People can hear me. That's good. All right. So let's get into the four types of Amazon FBA sellers, okay? So let me zoom in a little bit on this bad boy, and then let me take a look at how it looks on your guys' end. Okay, I think that looks good. So there's four types of Amazon FBA sellers, and we're gonna, discuss, which type are you, and you're gonna have to kind of, figure this out on your own. But essentially, if you're an Amazon seller who is looking to quit, your 9-to-5 job, get your time back, create financial freedom. This is why we love this business so much, right? Is you can do it from your laptop, you can do it from anywhere in the world. You can make it very hands off, so you can take care of yourself and your family, enjoy your life, pursuing your passions on your own terms. And Amazon FBA business is definitely for you if that's what you're looking for. But there's some common pitfalls that you can end up making when you're a certain kind of Amazon seller. That's what I was talking about. There's certain pitfalls people make, different types of sellers that they're getting in their own way essentially. And there's ways to kind of figure out like how to get out of that, what an ideal seller looks like to have success in this business. So that's what we're going to define here today. Is essentially like what traits, what actions, what kind of thinking do you need to have to become a successful Amazon FBA seller? Okay. In all my years of helping students navigate starting their own Amazon business, launching their first products, growing to 5 and 6 figures, I've seen some characteristics and trends that create success and some that prevent students from achieving their goals. Okay, so there's what are the commonalities that I see from successful sellers and what are the commonalities I see from people who don't make it, right? So we can avoid those same commonalities, those same traits, and apply the good ones only. I've personally seen those strengths and weaknesses play out in my own Amazon FBA journey as well. I've probably fit all four of these categories that we're going to go over personally, just ebbs and flows of them from when I started and then where I ended up as well. So I wanted to create a guide for you guys to see where you guys kind of fit in and where you can kind of work on your weaknesses and apply your strengths. I've categorized the characteristics that I've seen in four main types of strengths and weaknesses. You may fall precisely into one main type, or you might be a combination of two or even more. So you might fit into different categories as well. So just know that it's not, totally black and white. The point is to make note of your strengths, weaknesses, and recommend actions so you don't become one of those sellers who never sees the level of success they desire. Okay, so that's big for us. We want to make sure that we're becoming the person we want to become, right? That's the biggest thing. You'll talk to so many successful people in life, and it's not always the strategies about what they're doing in business, but it's more about the type of the person they've become, the bad habits they dropped, the time they saved here, their understanding what their priorities were. So they put these things first that drove the most results, right? So Pareto's principle is the 80-20 rule, right? So what is 20% of what I need to do to drive 80% of the results? Because we can't do 100% of it always. Okay. So type number one, the quick start here. Okay. So before I get started here and going over here, this guide is it's a lengthy one here. I don't have time to go over everything here today. I'm going to cover the important parts, and then if you guys get into the Facebook group after this call, get in the Facebook group in the link in the description there. Apply to get in there. There'll be a post where you can pick this up, but you do have to wait after the call. It won't be live until after then, and then we won't be checking applications till after this call anyways, so might as well just hang tight with me here and we'll go over this, and then you can get your copy afterwards, and you can explore this even deeper. All right, just double checking that everything is still working. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yep. It's got some questions in there already, which if I have time at the end, I'll get your questions in the chat. So just hang tight with me there. But yeah, so type number one, the quick start. Okay. This is you if you're an action taker. Okay. So if you've taken a lot of action already, you've seen all the benefits of starting an Amazon FBA business. You can see that you can make money, get your time back, leverage all the resources that Amazon has already put in place to really grow a business that enables you to meet your personal goals, and you're all in. This was me. So when I started, I was definitely the quick start. I threw 3 products at the wall, quickly lost $15,000 very quickly too, but I learned a lot. Okay. So this isn't the best type of person to be, but it's not the worst either, because you're going to learn from experience and learn through action. But the cons here, which you can get over as well, weaknesses here, is that you're probably going to lose some money. You're going to, we can go down here and take a look here. You can get down because you're not risk averse. Find the weakness type. Should yeah, it's a tough one. I'm not going to read the whole thing here for you, but essentially weaknesses, you're going to lose some money, you're going to make some mistakes, but the pros of that too, or you're going to learn from that, right? You're moving and you're learning by action. Well, Amazon businesses, it's kind of a trap sometimes to move quickly. You definitely want to always take action, and there's some traits you want to pull from this, but you don't want to move so quickly. You're just throwing things at the wall and, hurting yourself there by losing money and eventually time if you got to fix those mistakes in the first. So the quick start is not the worst person to be in this business. Just understand that, there could be pros and cons to this as well, that you'll essentially learn more about once you get this manual yourself, right? So conclusion, if this is you have the right habits and mindset to succeed at Amazon. Your quick decision-making and problem-solving skills will work in your favor. However, you need to be careful about ensuring that you assess risk properly and take the time to do your research before you start to dive in and take action. The cost is too high in Amazon FBA business to learn by doing. Accelerate your results and avoid being delayed by costly mistakes. Get a mentor. So this is kind of just some advice. If you're this type of person, if you want to move fast, have someone you can ping things off of, right? Have someone who's been successful before, and it doesn't have to be me. It could be someone else you trust in this industry. But essentially, if you want to move fast, go through a mentor and make sure you are, double checking your work, everything like that, right? Because we can have issues like seller account not being up and running and trying to backtrack and really figure that out. Product research could be an issue where we pick the wrong product and we want to get a product on Amazon right away, but it's the wrong market. Wrong supplier, just quickly, we want to get supplier fast. Well, bad quality, bad reviews. We're going to end up losing there, right? And now to counter that, the second type of person is the researcher. Okay. So this type of Amazon seller is really underrated, but power packed because they understand the value of research. If this is you are ready to dive into learning everything you can about the Amazon FBA business, what common mistakes you need to avoid, and what are hidden ways to create success. So you might be this person if, you are essentially understanding the value of research. There's a lot about starting and growing an Amazon FBA business. You're not about to mess up because you didn't take the time to educate yourself. Okay. So you always assess the risk and always asking the right questions in terms of weighing the resources and what risks you want to take. You know how to look at multiple sources of information and cross-examine your sources to ensure that the content you're hearing is credible and trustworthy. You are ready to work because you understand the power of knowledge and experience from others who have gone before you. Okay. But the weaknesses here. So the pros are you're not running in too fast. You're not getting into things too fast where you're going to lose money and time. But the weaknesses here are that, the sheer amount of information out there on Amazon FBA can mean that there's a high likelihood of you ending up lost and overwhelmed with the content you're consuming. The truth is that you probably have your own system for sorting your information into understandable frameworks, but I promise you, it's a lot of information and it changes based on multiple factors, including market trends, Amazon changes, and the niches products you want to sell. It's easy to get overwhelmed and not what actions you need to take. Okay. So essentially, you're doing so much research that one, you can get overwhelmed with it. Okay. To summarize here, or two, you just don't take any action at all. Right. That could be me in some scenarios, right? Where especially when I got burned so many times, I wanted to learn so much and learn everything before I started. Well, that's just not how the real world works. You have to take some action, but you also have to do your research. So it's a combination of these two that you really want to be. Okay. And again, you'll get this guide in the Facebook group here where you can go deeper and figure out who you are inside of this. Type Type number 3, the hustler. So the third type of Amazon FBA seller is the hustler. If this is you, you're ready to work and get the results. You want all the shortcuts and accelerated strategy because you're here for the money. No need to beat around the bush. You're highly financially motivated. You're looking for financial gains to take care of yourself and your family. You know the budget you want to invest. You know how much time you're going to put in to make this work. You've thought about what this is going to take from you, and you're ready to get it done. Okay, so the hustler, they like to hustle for money. They like to hustle to the next thing. Whether it's another shiny object, another something that can make money over here. Maybe flipping couches, maybe the Amazon business, maybe drop shipping. This is a common trap a lot of people fall into for the hustler, and it's okay to be about all for the money at first, right? So a lot of times you're doing things to essentially make more money so you can take the freedom and time of that, spend it with the family and the things you want to do, and then potentially figure out your passion later in life. Okay, but the traps of being a hustler, if we skip down to the weaknesses here, is that you may be pulling yourself in many different directions. You may be thinking too short term. You may be thinking that, if I'm not making 10,000 the first month, I'm a failure, right? Like I need to be making money now. Where Amazon FBA, especially in the private label field, is no, this is the long game. It takes a while to build success. It takes a while to build an actual Amazon FBA store. And you're not going to do this overnight. You're not going to hustle your way to success. This is something that takes patience. This is something where you got to learn to control your emotions, to sit down and be time efficient, do time management activities, to write your schedule every day. And you're not gonna be able to drive down the street, get a couch and flip it really quick to make money. No, we're thinking longer term. We're doing this for the higher ROI. So we need to sacrifice essentially 3 to 6 months of our business to have something that grows over time from 6 months to 10 years, right? To a real asset and everything like that. So that's the big thing about a hustler is, you essentially can fall into traps, can be too short-sighted, everything like that. The strengths of this is, you're a hard worker, you know what it takes, and you're okay with what it, essentially you're a competitor. You want to get after things, which you need some of that in business to really like strive and be like, I'm not losing, I'm going after it here. Okay. Another weakness of the hustler is you may not ask for help. You may not get help. You may just do it alone. And sometimes that's not the right decision. Sometimes you need help if you want to get there faster. Actually, the hustler is probably the main person who needs the most help to get there faster, but just refuses to ask for help because of ego. I definitely had traits of this too. I had a big ego when I first started where it's like, I'm not asking anybody for help. Like I can figure this out on my own. I can do this myself. I can will my way by hard work only to make this work. Okay. So yeah, we covered a lot of these things here. Again, I'm summarizing here for you guys. And then once you get this guide, you can go deeper yourself. I just want to get to some questions too at the end here. So type number 4 here, we had a little typo. So I drew a beautiful red 4 here to make sure you guys knew what type this was here. And this is the steady pacer. Okay. This is who, just to kind of be a spoiler alert, this is who I believe I am now. This is someone who I think people should strive for. I'm not saying you shouldn't have traits of the other 3, but this is something you should strive to be a good percentage of, because again, this is someone who takes it a little bit, longer terms, thinks longer. The person who thinks longest and has the longest pathway will win, right? If someone sits on Amazon and says, I have 2 years to actually get this product ranked up and work, well, you're going to win, right? Like, if you know that in your head, you're not gonna be disappointed when you don't get there in 6 months because you already put in your head, like, this is gonna work in 2 years. I'm not saying Amazon should take 2 years. That's like extremely competitive product I'm thinking of there, that where it's like a little voice crack there, which is, it's good to be on a live and voice cracking there. But someone who, 200K product per month or something like that, where it's like, it takes me 2 months to get to the top. I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I'm going to go there. For us, I'm hoping that between like 6 months and 12 months, somewhere in that range, and a little less competitive of a market for people who follow me and want to know my insight. That's what I'm looking for there. But again, someone who thinks long-term is not going to be disappointed when they don't get there within 6 weeks or 4 weeks or 8 weeks, or wants to make $1 million in 30 days. Like, this is not realistic. Okay. So if we manage our expectations, make a path for the long term, we're going to beat all those short-term thinkers, and we're going to have a steady pace. We're going to be mentally more healthier. Our emotions will be in check because we know we have a plan. This is our plan. And we're going to steadily get there. Okay. So this final type of Amazon FBA seller is the steady pacer. If you identify that you're any or a mixture of the other three types, you're going to want to pay attention to this type because this is the optimal Amazon FBA seller. The steady pacer typically sees the most success, goes the furthest, and achieves and exceeds their goals with Amazon FBA. Okay. So a lot of these things, I already covered here, the long game here that you're playing, you're not just here for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, but you want to build a real asset for 5, 10 years, maybe in the future. Maybe you want to sell your product or your brand, within 2 to 4 years, have a big exit. Well, that takes a long time. Like that's something that takes work over time. Not saying you're not going to make money before that. It's just something that's going to take some time. Okay. So, this person does their research, their assessment, wants to avoid costly mistakes. It is kind of that perfect combination of, the person getting after it, and, really doing the research at the same time, right? That kind of perfect dichotomy of like, sways back and forth, like, oh, I don't know this, researches, and then instantly takes action on that research. And that's what you want to be here. Okay. So this is actually the hustler here. This is part of the typo we had here, which will get fixed up. And then the weaknesses, sometimes, it can be easy to start wondering whether your success will come. So that's the problem, right? But if we have the expectations, it's going to take a while, we can manage that a bit better there. You start to compare yourself to people with Lambos, imposter syndrome starts to come up. Like, can I really do this? You can start to self-sabotage a little bit of like, I've done this in my past as well of, essentially, just kind of feeling bad about myself and maybe, drinking the night before a big work day and feeling hungover and just sabotaging that day and my success. So this is all the mindset game, guys. And this is why you need to kind of, this isn't the probably cutting edge strategy you guys want to hear for Amazon FBA, but if we can manage the mental side of it and realize, these are the traits we need to have. These traits will play into everything you do in your business and have a bigger exponential gain. Okay. So yeah, guys, that is essentially it. This goes deeper here into all these right here. I strongly suggest you guys get a copy of this and read through it. I know it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's not boring at all. Like if you're actually interested in entrepreneurship, like this is the stuff that should get you going. Stuff that like really makes the biggest difference. Again, most people, if you go to a billionaire or a big CEO or somewhere like that in a big company, they're not telling you their favorite book is something that it was like some Facebook ad strategy class or something like that. No, their favorite book is something that helped them build the mental models of what they're working through every day, whether that's Principles by Ray Dalio, like principles he lives by to make sure he's making the best decisions possible, whether that's long-term or short-term or how he lives his life. So he has the most energy and can come to work every day excited and getting after it. So this is where that kind of fits into. I'm not comparing myself to Ray Dalio or, Think and Grow Rich, things like that. But this is like kind of the Amazon more specific version of that, where I think it's necessary where you read through this, get a copy in the Facebook group. The Facebook group's free, so no worries there. And I have other free resources in there, as well as you can even ask questions in the Facebook group to get first priority on these Q&As, which we're going to switch to right now. So if we go over to the Bedrock group here, this is where you will have access to to get your questions in the first of the queue. So down here, right? So you can ask questions here and then I'll get to them on these lives in the next version here. But let me check the chat here, make sure everything's working still. All right, we got questions here. Fantastic. Cool, guys. I'll get to the questions in the chat once I have time here at the end, but I want to get to these questions here that have first priority in the Facebook group. Okay. See if I can zoom in here, guys, and I'm going to get a sip of water too. All right. Hey, Cameron, more and more competitors buy newly launched products that are doing well and leave 1-star reviews to slow down their sales. Some just leave a 1 or 2-star rating without a review. Is there anything that can be done? I'll be launching soon and really stresses me out. Thanks. Yeah, so the biggest thing here, Fred, is to avoid trendier products, right? So if you see like a 2023 new version on all the products in this category you're trying to sell in, that's probably a red flag that it's mostly Chinese manufacturers that are selling there. And it's extremely competitive and aggressive as you're going to get this. I would go into niches that have less of this, maybe a bit lower on the revenue scale, maybe 5 to 10,000, maybe 15,000, and not 30,000, 40,000, because you will see some of these actions taking place. If this does happen to you, the best thing you do is bury it with good reviews. So keep burying reviews, keep moving your sales velocity, and keep getting more reviews and requesting reviews on the back end, and potentially building a review system, which is a little bit more complex, but it's something when you kind of start selling that you need to develop. And I've talked about that in some of my YouTube launch videos. If you go to Cameron James YouTube launch, Amazon FBA launching, that will help you out there. Excuse me. We got next here. Fred had another question. Hey, Cameron, one more question. How do hijackers get in our Seller Central to change the pictures and title or anything in our listing? How do they get Amazon login information to get into our account? Amazon cannot prevent this from happening. I'm not brand registered. So they're not getting into your account, Fred. They're making their own accounts and they're selling it underneath your product listing. So essentially, when you're not brand registered, when you don't have a good brand name, when you have a very generic product, or you're listed under generic, you're going to set yourself up for this potentially happening where you have no protection. And then these people can start their own Seller Central accounts and list underneath your product because it's a generic product, or they can claim they have your own product that they're selling too. So they're not getting into your account at all. They're doing it from their side. Just like if you go to Charmin toilet paper, there's 46 sellers or something like that. Those 46 sellers all have their own accounts and they're selling the same product. Where if we're brand registered, have a trademark, we can protect ourselves from that happening because they need permission to sell your brand. Okay. ManCam here. I got a question about returns. I got a return. I saw it marked as customer damaged. I guess it's not sellable anymore. So what happens here? As a seller, I take all lost or half. I try to search seller form, but can't find anything related. Is there anything to protect the seller at all? It feels like as a seller, Amazon is our throat and a return. They charge you fees even for advertising. Now there is a prepaid refund and returned as damaged, and we take the loss. Thanks. So if it's customer damaged and the return, customer damaged, it shouldn't be your fault. This one, you will get refunded the fees there. You should get returned the fees here. This one's a little weird, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. Okay, so essentially there's two, just to break this down high level so you can kind of think about it yourself here, is there's two types of returns. And it all depends on when they go to return your product, what they select of reason for returning, okay? So there's half the selections are it's Amazon's fault that they're returning essentially, where if it's damaged by Amazon, the package is damaged, the shipping box is damaged, Amazon will actually refund you the full price point. So it's like making a full sale. So that's not on you at all. So you actually get refunded for that and you make money. Okay. So that's pretty cool there. If it's anything else, you get returned the referral fees for that. So you get refunded that, and your product, which you have to go into your settings for this, either gets destroyed if that's your option, or sent back to your home or wherever you want to send it back to. And you can repackage that if you want and relist it if it's sellable. If it's Amazon's fault and they refund you fully, they'll actually take your package, return it to themselves. And if it's sellable, what they'll do is they'll set on your own listing as an Amazon warehouse deal for a cheaper price to recoup some of those costs, which it's not a big deal that they do that. Okay. Hi, Cameron, follow-up question here. So you got to go back and go into your reports and look at what's going on here. And then you can really see what the numbers are, because it's different in every scenario. Okay. But yeah, there's some where you get kind of boned, pardon my language there. And then there's some where you get full price reimbursed. Okay. Follow-up question. Just got an email from Amazon for required removal request saying it's unsellable product. Removal fees will apply. If this is a customer damage item, I take all the loss, still need to pay the removal fees. Is there anything to protect us sellers? Yeah, you're fine. You're just overreacting to kind of the situation. So customer damaged item, you can get it sent back to you and see if it's there, and then send it back in and relist it here. But some of the fees were refunded to you. Again, when you get your seller account, take time to go through your reports section and learn those. Okay. Like it's a lot, but you're going to have to figure that out in your transaction reports and your FBA reports, your return reports, everything like that. You're going to have to figure out how to use those. And bond. Hey, Cameron, I don't exactly have an exactly day when the goods will arrive to Amazon warehouse. I put the date of 31st January in Amazon seller account. Now it looks like the goods will arrive much later. Will it be a problem? Yeah, it's not a problem at all. Once they get in, they'll just, it doesn't matter at all. Pakiza Batul. Hello all from Canada. Is there a browser extension that compares price of Amazon product Open a browser with all retailers in Canada. Thanks for help. Yeah, Helium 10. Helium 10, if you go to the About section here in the group, hit See More here. You can get a discount code right there in the About section for Helium 10. Go back down. Hey, Cameron, my supplier quoted me on a price for shipping my product to the US. Only found out it will be only shipped to the port and I will be responsible for the rest of the way. Firstly, I cannot find the website for the freight forwarder that could quote ship. Secondly, the price they quoted for DDP shipping is very expensive. Assuming this is because my product is a little in the small oversized region, how do you think I should proceed? Because this is the only thing that's stopping my progress. Any suggestions? Would any freight forwarders in the US take the responsibility of clearing customs and transferring the units to the fulfillment center? Just find other freight forwarders and get quotes. Go into other Facebook groups, get into this one, ask for people who are already selling for recommendations of freight forwarders that they like and trust. That's the biggest thing there. Get multiple quotes and get it door to door. Like, make sure that the shipping address is to the place you want it to go to. So the Amazon warehouse, so make a shipping plan, get that address, or to your home, wherever it's going. So you need to get a freight forwarder that can take it to the next step there. DDP is the correct move though. You want it in terms of DDP, and then you want to make sure they know what address it's going to, and they can take care of it all there. Oscar Leon, if a keyword is my listing is wooden spoon, and on Helium 10 it appears to be wooden spoon, no space, do they still index, or that space makes it not an index? I'm guessing Amazon will catch this for an index, but just make sure it's like this. Just make sure it's correct so you don't take any chances. Romaine, hey Cameron, my supplier said the freight forwarder they use will only check my products from quantity, but they aren't supposed to inspect the goods to see if they are okay for the shipment. What does this while inspection thing entail? So you need to get an actual inspection company. The supplier, the freight forwarder are not responsible for inspecting your goods. You need to get an actual inspection company. Again, if you go to my cheat sheet right here, I believe in module 2 in there, I have 2 inspection companies that you can use. Okay. Oscar again. Hey Cameron, if the keyword is metal chair, but the word metal is my bullet points and the chair is all the way down in the description, do they still index? Yes, they still index, but not as powerful as one phrase. Mancam, got an email just now from Amazon Services for my first payment on the way. Feeling great about this because they only start selling less than a month ago. Anyway, I want to ask, does Amazon need to send me a payment to me? Can I keep it as a balance? Feeling great about it because I only started selling less than a month. Congrats on your first payment, man. That's awesome. Screenshot or didn't happen, right? So get your mobile app out, take a screenshot of your sales and send that in the group. People love to see that, and I'd love to see that too, man. So make sure you share your wins in here. That's awesome. Anyway, I want to ask, does Amazon must need to send a payment to me? Yes, they want to send a payment to you. So just make sure your bank account's linked up. Can I keep it as a balance with Amazon for all the fees such as monthly subscription, PPC? I am not in a hurry to take a return yet. I want to invest into it. Yeah, so set your PPC settings to go from your balance, but every 2 weeks, regardless, you're going to get a payment sent to you. But within those 2 weeks, your PPC should pull from that balance before it gets sent out. So that's the way I should do it. And then the subscription, I believe, is always, subscription should be pulled from there, but you check in your settings. I think this could be in both as well, credit card or your actual balance. Durin asks, hello guys, I'm going through Amazon brand registry. It seems like they have added the manufacturer verification. I can't find a single video article that talks about this, maybe because it's still new. My question is, what should I choose for private label but not manufacturing myself? And what documentation should I provide if anybody is knowledgeable? Thanks. So you are the second one. You're correct there. And then you need to get your contract or your invoices paid inside of there. That's what you need to do. Many people in my group have gone through this and done just fine with that. Hi, I want to ask that almost 90% of items that I find good for reselling on Amazon.ca requires approval. So how can I start a new seller in that case? So Pakizi, this is like wholesale or retail arbitrage. I do private label exclusively. So that's what I recommend. Higher margins. You don't need to go through any of this approval baloney, which is just nonsense. You could start your own product and you can list a new product on there without any approval for that new product. So yeah, that's what I recommend there. So cool, guys. Let's, I got time for a few questions here in the chat. Let me go check that out here. Cool. Got quite a few people on here. Was this helpful, guys? Give me a thumbs up or a yes in the in the chat there. If you found the guide and the questions here I'm answering, like this live is helpful for you and you enjoy it, that really helped me out. Just to make sure that I'm spending my time wisely and that I'm actually giving value to you guys. So that'd be awesome if you guys could let me know about that. But I'm going to answer some questions here in the chat. So Al Gailey, I have one question. Is it good to start with private label? Yes, that's what I start with. Higher margins, you can build a brand with it. It's by far, I think it's got the most upside to this whole business. Ashlyn, if I find something at TJ Maxx with no seller rank but goes for great profit, should I buy $16 and can make $100 but confuse it doesn't have a seller rank put on it? I wouldn't know. I don't do retail arbitrage. The Ender, hi Cameron, why have you started teaching Amazon FBA instead of focus on your own Amazon FBA business? I've been doing Amazon FBA stuff for over 5 years now, and it gets pretty freaking boring, Ender. Just, after 5 or 6 years of selling, you would understand this too, that you want to do other things. You don't want to just sit on, Amazon Seller Central and watch your sales at first. 3-4 years, once you get going, it's pretty awesome. So this is cool. I also, just to be transparent with you guys, I do make money on this side of the business with YouTube, with Helium 10 stuff, with my program. I do make money there. So like, it is far more enjoyable and fulfilling to me, as well as I make additional income as well. So that's me just being fully transparent that I enjoy working with people. I'm in a room I'm in my office here by myself. And if you can't, work with others sometimes, you drive yourself a little mad. And this is what it is for me, as well as a business too. So Patrick Deepman, Cameron did 30 days selling on product with FBA. Now I see sold by Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, now sells the same product. Oh, I would have to see that, Patrick. Is it an Amazon FBA warehouse deal? So maybe you had a return and then they're just selling it for like new or used, and they're trying to recoup some profit for giving you a full price refund. I would check into that. Otherwise, I'd have to see the listing. Josh Reward, I missed the start, so I'm a bit lost. Just rewind it. You can literally take a live video on YouTube and start from all the way in the beginning. And then you could catch up if you want with 2x speed, whatever you want to do there. Patrick, again, however, their post is being featured, even though it gets there the same time as mine. My product is less expensive. Obviously, it's Amazon competing, but there's some way to fight off Amazon. No, if there's actually selling the same product, which this sounds like wholesale to me or something similar to that, you don't want to be in that battle. Patrick, yes. So Lubna, thank you, Cameron. I launched my PPC campaign for a week and still no sales. And even PPC, my listing isn't even on the 3rd page. So you're either bidding on the wrong keywords, or 2, which is more likely, Lubna, is that you are not bidding high enough. So you got to think about it this way. Are you getting impressions? Okay. So if you're getting impressions, but no clicks, that means you're just not congruent. Your hero image sucks, your main image, your title, you're just not doing well enough with your listing quality there on the front end. And then 2, if you're getting clicks but no sales, then your price point's off, your listing's off, not enough reviews, maybe the market's too competitive. Like there's so many things we could talk about here as well. But also if you're getting no impressions and no clicks, you're not bidding high enough. And the fact that you told me you're on the 3rd page still tells me your bids probably aren't high enough in your market. Muhammad, can you tell me what a catch-all campaign? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe a phrase campaign, so a discovery campaign that you can get a good net out there. But cool, guys. That is all from me. Make sure you guys subscribe. It means a lot if you guys subscribe to me in this channel. It helps push my videos to more people. And it makes me enjoy my job more a little bit doing these videos as well. Again, guys, get in the description there in the YouTube video if you have not already. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Yes, so in the description, guys, you should see in the bottom there. Make sure you guys get in the Facebook group, get that guide, read through that. It's good stuff. And it's good for your mental and your thinking there to do that. If you got any comments, let me know in the comment section down below. And you can also ask your questions in that Facebook group for the next live call next week. So cool, guys. This has been fun. Been on here for 35 minutes so far, which is awesome. Seems like you guys have enjoyed it. Got a lot of thumbs up and yeses there. I appreciate you all as well. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.